So the question is, have we made progress since the days of the humble telephone? You've got your mobile phone, which you carry around with you. Perhaps you even carry two mobile phones, one for work, one for personal. And all of these phones have their own contact lists, they've got their own connection into the network, they've got their own interface, and potentially their own numbers. So what you've got now is an incredible array of choice for how you communicate with people. In the corridor, in the meeting room down the corridor, you'll have a conference phone, one of these speaker phones. You may even have a video conferencing solution in your boardroom that you use to talk to somebody and be able to see them while you're doing it. Well, all of these choices in terms of how we communicate are simply increasing the complexity of how we communicate. Every time we need to make a decision, am I going to phone on this phone? Am I going to phone on that phone? Well, I'm going out, so I better phone on my mobile, but I don't really want to use that because that's going to have a higher cost. You constantly have to balance which is going to be the most efficient way of working. Well, what I would suggest to you as a trend is that all these interfaces are not necessarily going to be a hindrance to working if you can consolidate those interfaces in a single unified interface. And I'll show you what I mean. So if we take the humble contact list, and if we use that contact list as a launching pad for any of the communications that we want to initiate, be it an instant message, be it a voice call, a video call, perhaps an email if it's non-real time, it's not as important. This is the kind of interface that is going to be used to unify all your communication needs. And it's a very intuitive interface. I've got all the people that I deal with on a daily basis, and I can do several things with them depending on the abilities and the networks they're connected to. Are they online? Can I see their presence? Are they available? If they're available, are they willing to talk to me? Are they traveling? Perhaps it's a better idea if I send an email, if they're on the road. So we can start seeing the influence of presence and location awareness in being able to make the way in which we deal with people far more efficient. Now, if we take that experience and we make it consistent across all the devices that we use, so with connecting, communicating, and collaborating, I've spoken about the personal desk, I've spoken about mobile devices, taking that experience with you. Well, as Telstra, and within the Chief Technology Office, we look at a number of emerging trends and technologies as they are made available. We've also looked at the collaboration tools that are available to us. And here's an example of a meeting room. Now, this is not necessarily, if you're familiar with the concept of a telepresence room, this is not dedicated furniture. This is not huge screens along the wall. This is just your humble meeting room down the corridor. Perhaps you've got a single or dual screen video conferencing solution set up there. And what you've done is you've taken this companion device of yours and you've brought it in to the meeting with you. Now, the importance of this is that that companion device could be used to provide augmented information about the context and content of that meeting, which is great. It adds to the value that you get out of the session. If you're not quite certain who somebody is in the session, you can quickly look up their biography, for example. If you're not familiar with the concept that somebody's just spoken about, or they've been talking about an acronym, you quickly look it up. This is the kind of thing that we can do within the meeting. So we bring these companion devices in as part of the experience. The other thing that's revolutionizing communications is video, but not only that, high-definition video. So high-definition video allows us to see each other in a far more natural way. Systems are becoming increasingly adept at allowing us to see eye contact with each other. And what that does is it builds trust. We deal with somebody, when we see them, it's far more likely that we're going to build a trust relationship with them. And it's far more likely that we're going to be able to pick up on visual cues and facial expressions when we're in sensitive negotiations with them. So HD is certainly a trend, and we're also finding that the codecs, the technologies that bring us that HD, are becoming far more efficient. And the systems that deliver HD are becoming far more cost-effective as well. So it's certainly something you can consider. But something that is by no means any less important, in fact, I would dare say that this is far more important than a video experience, is the audio experience. High-definition audio experience is far more important than video. Video certainly adds a brand new element that we couldn't do before. It adds the ability to travel around the world when flights are not available because of ash clouds in the air. But audio is very important as well. And we're starting to see new high-definition audio codecs available. You may have seen an announcement by Telstra that we've enabled high-definition audio in our mobile network, which will become available as new mobile devices support that kind of capability. So we can hear each other. The voice clarity is great. We can understand each other without asking each other to repeat. And then one of the last things that is very interesting about collaboration is the digital wall. We're also finding that it's important to work not only when you're talking and seeing each other, but also to collaborate on things, content, documents. These things could be stored in the cloud, but we want to be able to edit and manipulate them wherever we are, as a group, across multiple locations. And here we could use PCs to do it, but a far more interesting device, which we see emerging, would be a digital wall, perhaps touch-sensitive, where you would be able to see content as if you were sticking up little notes, brainstorming exercises on your end, and have those notes appear on a duplicate wall on the other end. So these are the kinds of things that we can use to enhance our collaboration, our teamwork, without necessarily investing in very expensive rooms and video conferencing systems. It all makes it far more immersive. So rich interactions are what we're after, high-definition audio and video, being able to communicate and collaborate, and being able to initiate those from a very simple interface that is consistent across multiple devices. And finally, to be able to transcend boundaries. When we want to communicate with another business, we should be able to do so. And Telstra is putting a lot of effort into being able to provide you the ability to talk across business boundaries and to be able to communicate with your customers as well, which is obviously very important.